started kind of testing stuff there. Testers were assisting developers to test, which meant that we could kind of pretty much finish testing and fix stuff, and then we would get feedback on, are we kind of properly done? We could get feedback on, have we implemented it correctly? We could get feedback on, do we have the right tests for this? We could get feedback on, have we kind of understood the requirements correctly? We can get feedback on all kind of assumptions we have and understanding things that inside the cycle, which was very, very exciting and very interesting and things like that. But we started discovering stuff that started becoming really, really painful. As Jerry Weinberg says, as soon as you solve your number one problem, your number two problem gets a promotion. So kind of going back to the angry email that we got, we started kind of looking at stuff like this inside the iteration. Then out of the whole kind of forest of stupid stuff, we started noticing patterns like this, where this person who's the smartest person in the world says that basically, hey, you know, all active basically means people placed a bet before the cycle, but then if that person registered in the cycle, he belongs to all active. You're wasting money of us spending a week developing something, having to go back and rework that. It's your money, it's stupid. You've delayed the project for 2 weeks by doing this. We need you to give us better requirements. And kind of then the whole thing of feedback became really interesting, because we realized that there's a huge feedback delay here of about a week and a half in average. And we started thinking about it, but kind of, this is where, yes, we could discover all this stuff in an iteration demo, but do we really need to? Does this stuff really depend on an iteration demo? Does this stuff really depend on an implementation? Why would the requirements depend on us implementing something? Why would we have to wait until somebody actually implements stuff to discover problems with requirements? And kind of, we started looking at, well, how could we, reorganize differently? How could we start getting better requirements? And we started asking these guys to give us better requirements and participate more, and then kind of the whole not enough time thing propagated upwards as well. And this was one of my kind of key Zen moments to realize that in short iterative cycles, we tend to kind of complain about not having enough time to test and not having enough time to develop, but business people genuinely do not have enough time to think about requirements. Hence, we get crap. And if we are going to be better as an industry at this, we need to find good ways of engaging people differently. We need to find good ways of engaging people so that we don't discover that stuff towards the end of the cycle where we've lost 2 weeks. We discover that stuff earlier towards the start of the cycle. And kind of, I've realized that this is not a software problem at all. This problem has been in other industries for decades, perhaps even hundreds of years. And one of the most interesting books I've read about this is a book called The Sources of Power. Sources of Power is by far the most influential book on the way how I develop software. And I strongly encourage people to read it if you've not read it. It's not a software book at all. It's a book about how people make decisions under time pressure, which is what we have to do all the time. And the story of the book is quite interesting, where the American government somewhere in the 70s understood that the way they're teaching people to make decisions under time pressure is purely theoretical. What they were teaching people to do in military academies, police academies, in business schools was, when you need to make a decision, try and outline all possible options, and then kind of list positives and negatives for all options, and then the answer is magically going to come out. But it doesn't. And even in a situation where you have all the time you need, people just do not make decisions like that. So they paid this guy called Gary Klein quite a lot of money to spend 10 years working with people and try to understand how people actually make decisions. And one of the most interesting stories in the book is a experiment they've done with 4 active battalions of the US Army. So these are people who kill people for living with tanks. You'd assume they have to make some serious decisions. And the researchers sat in while the commanders were giving orders in the morning and wrote down every single thing the commanders said. Then they got into the tanks with the teams and wrote down every single thing the teams did. Then they went back to the commanders and said, you gave them this particular order, this was the situation, what did you expect them to do? And the commanders' expectations matched the actions on the ground in only 34% of the cases.